Donald Trump paced the carpeted floor of the VIP lounge in a small regional airport, clearly agitated. He was scheduled to deliver a speech in a rural town on revitalizing American industry. But fog delays and a missed connection with his driver caused him to arrive just minutes after the final gate closed. His assistant, Mason, looked distraught. "Mr. President, I'm sorry. The next flight isn't for another 4 hours." Trump sighed, visibly frustrated but surprisingly composed. "Maybe it's a sign, Mason. Sometimes life wants you to slow down." He glanced around the modest waiting area. No red carpets, no luxury, just rows of worn chairs and a sleepy coffee kiosk. He found a seat by the window and lowered himself into it. Across from him, a young girl caught his eye. She couldn't have been older than 8 or 9, wearing a pink backpack and clutching a handmade card. Her cheeks were streaked with dried tears. Still wearing a baseball cap and glasses to stay under the radar, Trump leaned toward Mason and whispered, "Why is that kid sitting there alone?" Mason shrugged while scrolling on his phone. The girl looked up and their eyes met. She offered a shy, watery smile, then stared back down at the card in her hands. Something stirred in Trump. Something unfamiliar, not business or politics, but something softer. Compassion, maybe. "Hold my calls," he said quietly. "I'm going to walk around a bit." He rose and slowly approached the girl, mindful not to frighten her. "Hi there," he said gently, adjusting his voice. "Are you waiting for someone?" The girl looked up. "My mom. I was supposed to give her this before she left." She held up the crayon-colored card. On the front, in uneven letters, it read, "For the best mom ever." Trump's chest tightened. "You missed her?" he asked. She nodded, fighting back fresh tears. "Her flight got moved up. I got here too late." He sat beside her. "What's your name?" "Aubrey." "That's a beautiful name." "I'm Donald," he said, momentarily forgetting the weight his name carried. Aubrey tilted her head. "Like the guy on TV?" He chuckled. "Something like that." She held out the card again. "Do you think there's a way to get this to her?" Trump paused. "Where was she flying to?" "Dallas. She's in the military. She only had 2 days off." That hit harder than expected. He hesitated. "Did you try to give it to the gate?" "I did, but they said it was too late." He took a long breath. "We may not be able to catch her flight, but maybe there's another way." Aubrey's eyes brightened. "Like what?" He didn't have an answer yet, but he couldn't walk away. Pulling out his phone, he stepped aside and dialed the airport's operations line. "This is Donald Trump. Has Flight 472 to Dallas taken off?" A pause. "Yes, sir. 10 minutes ago." Trump hung up and returned to her. "We missed it, but we're not out of options." "She won't be back for months," Aubrey said softly. "She's going overseas." "Do you know where she's stationed?" Aubrey rifled through her backpack and pulled out a letter. "She writes me every week, says it helps her feel close." He read the return address, Fort Sam, Houston, Texas. Mason approached. "What's going on?" Trump handed him the card. "Her mom's in the military. We're going to Dallas. Mason blinked. Sir, we don't have a flight. Then find one. Charter it. Now. I want to deliver this card myself. Aubrey looked stunned. You'd really do that? He nodded. Your mom should know what kind of daughter she has. Within the hour, they were in the air. Aubrey sat beside Trump, clutching her card. As the jet rose above the clouds, she traced shapes on the window with her fingertip. This feels like a dream, she whispered. Flying with a president. He chuckled. I didn't plan on it either. She turned to him. Why are you helping me? That made him pause. I've spent a long time focusing on big things, campaigns, speeches, business. But today, someone small reminded me what really matters. Aubrey smiled. My mom says big hearts change more than big words. Trump nodded. She sounds wise. She is. She says people only look up to you if you look out for others. He turned away, quietly taking that in. Mason approached. We'll land in an hour. I arranged a ride to the base. Good, Trump replied. Then to Aubrey. Let's make sure your card finds its way. Aubrey squeezed the card. She always told me I'd make a difference. Trump looked at her. You already have. Their jet touched down near San Antonio. As they rolled to a stop, Trump turned to Aubrey. Ready? She nodded nervously. What if she's already gone? We'll find her, he assured. A black SUV waited. With help from military contacts, Mason had secured access to Fort Sam Houston. As they passed through the gates, soldiers snapped to attention, a few doing double takes. Inside, an officer greeted them. Mr. Trump, it's an honor. You're looking for Sergeant Angela Wells? Trump nodded. Her daughter has something she didn't get to give her. She just wrapped her final briefing. Her flight leaves in an hour. Aubrey gasped. We still have time. They pulled up to a hangar where soldiers were loading gear. Aubrey leapt from the car and sprinted toward a woman in uniform. The woman turned and caught her daughter in a tight embrace. I made this for you, Aubrey cried, handing her the card. Silence rippled through the soldiers nearby. Angela opened the card, smiled through tears, and hugged her daughter tightly. Trump stood at a distance, trying not to reveal the emotion swelling inside him. Angela held the card like it was gold. I thought you weren't coming. They wouldn't let me in, Aubrey sobbed. But he helped me. Angela looked up at Trump, eyes wide. He removed his cap. It's an honor, Sergeant. She saluted. Sir, I wasn't expecting... You have a brave daughter. She reminded me today what service really looks like. Angela lowered her hand. She's everything to me. They moved up my flight. I didn't get to say goodbye. Trump looked at Aubrey. She made sure you did. A small crowd had gathered, officers, medics, soldiers, watching in silence. Angela hugged her daughter again. I'll keep this card with me every day, even overseas. Aubrey smiled. That way you'll never feel far. Trump remained quiet, letting the moment linger. Behind him, Mason took a photo, not for press, but for memory. Angela and Aubrey sat together on a bench near the hangar, trying to make every second last. Trump stood aside, speaking softly to Mason. We should let them be. No press? Mason asked. Not this time. This isn't about me. You've changed. Trump smiled faintly. Maybe I just remembered who I was. Angela rose. Mr. Trump, thank you. I don't know how to repay you. You already have, with your service, with your daughter's strength. She hesitated. May I ask, why did you help us? Trump glanced at Aubrey. Because she reminded me leadership isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about hearing the quiet voices. Angela looked deeply moved. Trump crouched beside Aubrey. You're a very special girl. She beamed. I want to help people when I grow up. You already do. The final boarding call rang out. Angela hugged Aubrey again, lingering. Trump watched silently, feeling a familiar ache, one he hadn't felt in years, the ache of remembering what love looked like. As the military plane lifted into the clouds, Aubrey raised a small salute. Trump stood beside her. She'll be okay, he said. She always is, Aubrey replied. Back in the SUV, Aubrey leaned on Trump's shoulder. You're not like I thought, he smirked. How'd you think I'd be? Louder, he laughed. Fair. She looked up. Do you miss your family? The question hit unexpectedly hard. Sometimes, more than I let on. My dad left when I was 2. That's why Mommy joined the Army. She wanted to be strong. He studied her, seeing not just a child, but pure resilience. You might be one of the bravest people I've ever met. She grinned. You too, even if you're not loud today. As they neared the airport, Trump tapped Mason. We're not flying commercial. Sir? He looked at Aubrey, sketching in her notebook. Book a private jet. She's coming to New York. Aubrey's eyes widened. Wait, what? You said you wanted to help people, right? She nodded. Well, I know a few who could use a heart like yours. Maybe you'd like to visit the Trump Foundation for a bit. Mason raised an eyebrow. That's a first. Aubrey lit up. Are you serious? As serious as Air Force One, Trump grinned. But only if your mom agrees when she returns. Until then, we'll look after things. She launched forward.